Hello, this is Peter with another video. So today I thought I'd show all the plants that I've had outside in the cold and what damage they've received. Of course, I posted a video, it was only a few days ago, but I actually filmed it a week ago, of what I was going to do to protect some of these plants. You can see the Musa baju has been completely frozen by the cold we've had the last week. It got much colder than I was expecting. I think the forecast was showing maybe -1, -2 for a few nights. It got much colder than that, which I'll get into a little bit later. Thankfully though, the actual pseudo stems on my Musa baju seem fine. I probably should have covered these by now, but since we've got a bit of milder weather at the moment, I'm going to just leave them. But before the next cold spell, I'll definitely get this covered. But yeah, I think with them being such large pseudo stems, they'll be absolutely fine. They still feel nice and firm up here, which is very promising to see. Yeah, as you can see, the colocasia pink china's been completely destroyed by the cold, above ground at least, apart from this one right back here, which is close to the wall. Does look like it's actually potentially going to push out a new leaf, but yeah, the next frost will definitely cause it to die back even more, and it'll come back from the roots next spring, so that's not a problem. I was expecting that. So this is where the dwarf Orinoco was here. You can see I've got a big hole now. I'll probably just fill that in with some compost. Here next to that is the avocado, which are protected with some lights. I put a clip in of the plant jacket I had over the top. I didn't have time to create a proper wooden frame or anything like that, so I just got some bamboo and shoved them in the ground just to stop it from the plant jacket from touching the leaves, as I didn't want that freezing on top and then causing damage on the leaves. As you can see, the plant looks absolutely fine, and I've been able to keep this under here well above freezing. I think the lowest temperature is probably like 3 or 4 degrees before I turn the lights on. It might have got slightly colder, maybe 1 or 2 degrees, and then I realised and turned the lights on, and then it kept it above 5-6 degrees Celsius. You can also see this little colocasia here was actually underneath the protection a little bit, some of it. I wasn't trying to protect it, it was just in the way. You can see it's actually still got leaves on and even trying to grow here, so yeah, definitely keeps it above freezing underneath there. And you can see this leaf here did get burnt by the light. That's one of the problems I have with these lights. You just got to be careful where you position them. This one was actually over here and it was sat right on top of it like that, which is why it got burnt, but it's going to be absolutely fine, it's not a problem, just one leaf there. It's even trying to push out new growth, as you can see. So yeah, the thermometer I have here isn't under any protection. So I had the clementine protected here, and then this was in the middle between the avocado and the clementine. And this recorded a temperature of, I think it was -3.6. The forecast did update and it showed that it should have got down to about -4, so that seems to have been about the same kind of temperature that I recorded in this area. But most of the time it actually did keep this area of the garden stayed at least a couple of degrees warmer than the area where I've got my fig tree and the cherry guava, which I'll show in a little bit. Yeah, the Oregon, the clementine, I've put lights on, as you can see. Got a bit squashed there with the lights. I just threw them on quickly last Sunday. And yeah, as you can see, the tree looks fine. Again, I've got one of those little thermometers here, put it here. and I just threw another frost cloth or plant jacket over the top, and I actually included this dwarf Brazilian banana underneath as well. It's something I decided to have a go at this year, and despite the minus 3.6 or thereabouts in this area of the garden, it actually stayed well above freezing. You can see I put a load of lights around the base of the pseudo stem. I put a few up here as well just to help in this area where the leaves are. I mean, the leaves don't really matter, to be honest, with a banana. The main thing is the actual root ball, the corm, and the pseudo stem if you want to keep the height. As you can see, the leaves have actually stayed completely intact, which is really good to see. Of course, it is risky because if I had a power failure or these lights stopped working for whatever reason, it would be completely toast. There's no chance it would survive minus 4 degrees or lower if we got colder than that over winter without the aid of the heat from the lights. But yeah, I thought it was worth experimenting with. I do have one other of these bananas in the greenhouse, or maybe it's in the house, I can't remember. I did leave a few bananas in the greenhouse and I got some into the house, so I do have a backup. I think I might have put the other one in the house actually. But yeah, it's looking really good after the several nights below freezing. As I said, I think most of the time it got to maybe -1, -2 in this area without the protection. Under the protection, as I said, about 5-6 degrees most of the time with the lights. I try not to put the sensor too close to where the light bulbs are so it didn't distort the temperature too much, but you can never get it 100%. But yeah, it does seem to have done the trick. This is actually one strand of lights here, and then it has a little connection that you can add another one, so I added the other one onto the same line. So that's a second set of lights on the Avocado, so that seems to have worked well. Now next along, I'm a little bit more concerned about the cherry guava here. So yeah, I noticed the temperatures were getting much colder than I was expecting, because I've got another sensor over here, and in this area on one night, according to the thermometer here, it actually dropped down to below -6. I think it was -6.2 or 6.3. I'll put the actual reading that I got in the video, but yeah, it definitely got much colder than I was expecting here in this area of the garden. I think that's because it's quite exposed here. It's far away from the house. There's no brick walls nearby. There's a fence, but the fence doesn't really hold any heat. And then I think this is probably also due to a phenomenon, I think it's called radiative cooling, where on clear sky nights the temperature lower to the ground can actually cool down much lower than the air temperature higher up. So I probably need to look into where to position this sensor properly. Might be too low to the ground, but that being said, it is giving me a good idea of how cold it got for these plants in this area. I'll just quickly go back to the cherry guava. So yeah, you can see these new emerging leaves have been damaged by the cold at the tips here. Again, I threw a cloth frost jacket over the top, and I even put this bucket of water back there as well once I realised how cold it was going to get. And yeah, it does actually seem to have done mostly okay, but of course it's going to be hard to tell if this is actually going to suffer more damage over the next few weeks, other than these tips here. So yeah, I'm not sure if this is going to work long term this winter. If it gets colder than what we had, I'm going to have to put some form of heat source underneath this as well. And then yeah, the Chilean guava had no bucket of water or anything. I just threw the frost cloth over the top. As you can see, it's taken some damage with the new growth at the top. It's definitely burnt a bit in the cold. But not all the tips. Some of the tips don't look too bad, and then lower down it looks absolutely fine. So yeah, I think again I might also have to be careful on extremely cold nights over winter. But I'm glad at least most of the plant seems to be okay. So yeah, overall it was definitely very cold this last week, and then hopefully it's going to stay a little bit milder for a few more days, and then I think some point next week it's predicted to go close to freezing, maybe slightly below freezing again, so might just have to throw frost cloth over these plants again for a couple of nights. But yeah, overall not looking too bad. I'll definitely report back if there's any more damage on any of these plants over the next couple of weeks. I think these flower buds are going to be aborted at some point. They're definitely not going to survive that cold, I don't think. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this update on the first real test of winter before we're even in winter. And I'll definitely keep everyone up to date on how these plants do over the coming weeks. I do have plans to improve this area a little bit here, so put some proper wood in place. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified when I release future videos. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.